Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 2nd April 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. And all the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. You might be knowing it is a highly expensive training course, but we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are already available at our channel. To access the training lessons at our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community in place of Posts. If that is the case, click on that Community tab. Then you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. In this YouTube playlist, I kept all the training lessons. So far you have over 88 training videos are available in this playlist. But you need to start your training from the first lesson that is available at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. And these training instructions are available at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So from the video description, join at our Telegram channel, and at the Telegram channel, top of the window, you can find pinned messages. Go to the pinned messages, and one of the messages in the pinned messages are having all the training instructions. So learn this course according to those training instructions. Then you will become a very good independent trader in the coming months time period. Please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now let's get into the report generation with the help of NeoStock Software. Okay, in this video, first I am going to generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain reports. After that, I will generate stocks near demand and supply zones, and also we will identify daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones can be used for HLQ zone strategy. And after that, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. And finally, at the end of the report, I will generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. Okay, these are the different reports will be available. So first let me start with NIFTY supply demand zone chain report. So starting with the monthly time frame, I am generating NIFTY supply demand zone chain report. Okay, this is a NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain report. And in all the supply demand zone chain reports, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. And look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And you know, one time frame higher is ITF and one more time frame is higher is HTF. And remaining columns you can understand easily because you already learned the course. But please follow these rules for the remaining reports, and also don't forget, I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report, and after that you proceed to the remaining reports. And follow this procedure for all the reports in this video. Okay, now next report. Generating a weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. I will mark the nearest demand zones to the current closing price. Above you will find nearest supply zone to the current closing price. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Serial number 30 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, the 15 minutes demand zone. I will put it in the center by adjusting the data. This is 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, next, I'm generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, this is 5 minutes supply demand zone chain. All are supply zones. Let me scroll the list down so that we get demand zones also. Okay, serial number 44 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Okay, this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, I will generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain reports. So I'm going back, changing the name to Nifty Bank. And time frame monthly. I'm generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, I'm generating daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, I'm generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Okay. So this is a Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So with this we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. Next we will generate finding the stocks near demand and supply zones, and also daily and above time frames. We will also find the stocks price closed inside demand and supply zones. Okay, starting with yearly excuse me, starting with yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside yearly supply zone, we don't have any stocks. Next time frame, half yearly, stocks near half yearly demand zone, we don't have any stocks. Stocks near half yearly supply zone, also we don't have any stocks. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside half yearly supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Okay, next time frame is quarterly, stocks near quarterly demand zone, we got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near quarterly supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. First 23 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 28 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on the quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, so it can be up or down. So we got 16 stocks. Quarterly demand zones having quarterly EMA confluence, and current price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. Always you can look into the search strategy how to find how we filtered the stocks. Okay, next, quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone, we got 7 stocks. We can further filter with quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And trend on the quarterly up or down. So 3 stocks we've got. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near monthly supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 18 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 29 stocks filtered. We can further filter based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly up or down. So now we got 11 stocks. All these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence, and also current price closed inside the monthly demand zone. Next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 24 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence. and also trend on the monthly up or down. So we got 17 stocks. So first 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 17 stocks. All monthly supply zones having monthly EMA Confluence. And also current price closed inside those monthly supply zones. Okay, next time frame is a weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Next, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 20 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So we got 5 stocks. Weekly demand zones having weekly EMA Confluence and current price closed inside these weekly demand zones. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 51 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly supply zones having weekly EMA Confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways, can be up or down. So we got a filtered list. We got total 24 stocks. So first 16 stocks in the list. So total 24 stocks are filtered. So this is about weekly time frame, and the next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones. We don't have any daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay, next, a daily time frame, let us find the stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 16 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. BSE is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. Cummins is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. Indus Tower is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. Laris Labs is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We have identified 4 daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay. Next, price closed inside the daily demand zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 30 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on daily demand zones having daily EMA Confluence. And also trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now the list is come down to 13 stocks. These 13 daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, and also current price closed inside these daily demand zones. Okay, next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 76 stocks filtered. Price closed inside daily supply zone. We can further filter this list based on daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. So let's go back. The EMA confluence at daily time frame, selecting daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 17 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list, all these daily supply zones having daily EMA confluence, and also current price closed inside these daily supply zones. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. Total 17 stocks are filtered. So this is about the daily time frame. The next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone, we got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. M&M is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We have identified one high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone from this list. High liquidity means by default it is high priority high liquidity, because we don't use low priority high liquidity zones for HLQ zone strategy. If you want, you can use, but don't expect 80% success rate. See, RBL Bank low priority high liquidity, it may work, but not 80% you can't claim. Okay, next 75 minutes time frame, stocks near 75 minutes supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. PFC is a piercer zone, already pierced 3 times. If you want to apply piercer zone strategies, you can select and you can analyze, but not for HLQ zone strategy. That's it. We don't have any valid high liquidity 75 minute supply zones from this list. Okay, this is about daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. We completed the identification. Next, we will go to the next time frame, 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone, we got 14 stocks. Next, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone, we got 7 stocks. Let us identify out of the 7 how many are having 15 minutes demand zones, 15 minutes demand zones with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. That is LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. So I'm selecting 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone. Confluence, I enable the filter. With this filter, the list is come down to 3. Out of these 3, third one is a piercer zone. Okay, next for 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Let us verify 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone Confluence supported stocks. So 4 stocks are filtered. Fourth one is pierced zone. Okay, this is about 15 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Okay, let us further filter based on this zone Confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I enable the filter. We got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, fourth one and fifth one are pierced zones. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame. Stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Let's verify out of these 8 how many are having supply zone Confluence, ITF supply zone Confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone Confluence. So I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. Out of 4, 3 are pierced zones. Okay, this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Starting with monthly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame is daily. Entry zone should be demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish. Next, zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should always be 12. So with these filters, we got 9 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and all these entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. For monthly income trade, entry time frame is daily. That is LTF zone. Okay, out of these 9, there could be some high probability zones might be available that we need to filter. And we are using zone Confluence strategy. We have 2 variations. We are using those strategies for identifying the zones might be having more high liquidity. I mean more high probability, not liquidity, more probability to get success. The simple rule is very simple. If daily zone is there, inside weekly, maybe its order flow is stronger. If daily and weekly together is there in monthly, the order flow could be even much stronger. If they are having EMA Confluence, their order flows could be even much more stronger. So with this assumption, we are filtering high probability trade setup supported zones. So these strategies you already learned in lesson 27. Okay, first LTF and ITF demand zone Confluence. That is a daily and a weekly demand zone Confluence. So I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got all 9 stocks. In all these 9 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones. And the weekly trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. Because weekly trend is up, if weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, then those filtered stocks, the daily zones could be even more probability to get success. Because daily is part of weekly. And weekly is having weekly EMA Confluence, then the daily zone which is part of weekly might be having strong institutional order flows. That way it may get more high probability to get success. All these strategies you learned in lesson 27. So please go through those strategies if you did not listen. Okay, I'm going back and setting EMA filter because daily is part of weekly. Now we are setting weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence and trend is uptrend. So we got 3 stocks. So these 3 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. It is only a probability, please remember. You are just based on the position of the zones we are identifying. Maybe they get more success. Many times the probability is true, but there are times they will also fail. You have to understand that point. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is daily, weekly, monthly zone confluence. So I am removing this ITF filter, EMA filter. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is daily, weekly is already enabled. Next daily with monthly demand zone confluence. Weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. So in these 3 stocks, the daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. And both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up in all the 3 stocks. If any of these stocks monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence, then the filter stocks having daily demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. So let us filter. So in the EMA monthly time frame, I am selecting monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. Anyway, monthly trend is up. Let's filter. We got all the 3 stocks. So all the 3 stocks are having more probability to get success. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at daily, selecting bearish. And zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhancer score 12. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. These 4 are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. We got 4 daily supply zones. Out of these 4, even more high probability trade setup supported stocks are available. Let us find based on the zone confluence. So as usual, first filter LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With this filter, we got all 4 stocks. That means these daily supply zones are already part of weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all the stocks. If any of the weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, then the daily zones might be having more probability, daily supply zones. Let's filter EMA in weekly, because the daily is part of the weekly supply zone. We are checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is downtrend on weekly. So out of 4, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 daily supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. See? That is the reason why this zone is already tested 4 times. Previous reports already it might have given you trades. So some of you who took the trade, probably it reached you might be getting but a recent time price is closed inside the supply zone. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is enabled. Next, daily with weekly supply zone confluence. And weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Sorry, this is daily with monthly supply zone. This is weekly with monthly. So with all the 3 filters enabled, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence, we got two stocks. In these two stocks, these daily supply zones overlapped with weekly. Both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. So sideways trend, checking EMA Confluence does not give any advantage. So we are leaving it. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look into weekly income trades. Okay. Weekly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes. I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, and the minimum odd enhanced score should be 12, and also 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So here in the pierced count parameter at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the 75 minutes demand zone pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means the zone is not pierced. You may ask, how can you say it is 75 minutes demand zone? Because here we selected 75 minutes demand zone. Whichever the one you select here, to that only the filters will be applied. Okay, let me filter. Now we got 12 stocks. All these 12 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All these are all 75 minutes demand zone. Out of these 12 75 minutes demand zones, there could be some high probability trade setup supported zones might be available. We need to filter them based on the zone confluence. First filter, LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. That is nothing but 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. That means 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily. Let us find how many such kind of stocks are available out of 12. We got 8 stocks. In all these 8 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zones. And daily trend is up in all these stocks. So if daily demand zone having daily EMA, then these 75 minutes demand zones, which are part of daily zone, overlapped with daily zone, are having more high probability to get success. Let's filter. In the EMA confluence at daily, setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA. Anyway, trend is uptrend in the daily. So let's filter. We got 5 stocks. So these 5 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Okay. Next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. 75 minutes daily and weekly zone confluence. And removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily confluence. Next 75 with the weekly demand zone confluence, and the daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones overlapped with daily demand zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. But weekly trend is sideways, HTF trend. So sideways trend, EMA confluence does not give any advantage. So we are not filtering the stocks. So this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum odd enhanced score 12. And also 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 7 stocks. Out of these, all these 7 are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75-minute supply zones. So we have 7 75-minute supply zones are available. Out of these 7 75-minute supply zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the supply zone confluence. First filter LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. So applying the filter to the 7 stocks, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend, ITF trend, is down in all the stocks. So that is the reason why, because 75-minute supply zone part of the daily supply zone and the daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then those stocks might be having more high probability to get success. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at daily, I am checking daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. We got 3 stocks. So these 3 stocks are having, these 3 75-minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. So that is the reason why this supply zone is already tested 3 times. Actually 6 rejections 6 times. Okay. This is based on LTF, ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. 75 with daily supply zone confluence. Next 75 with the weekly supply zone confluence and daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we did not get any stocks. So that means inside the weekly, those zones are not having any confluence. Look into the supply zone confluence we selected. We selected weekly, daily, weekly 75 minutes and daily 75 minutes. But they are not filtered. Okay. So this is bearish trade setup for a weekly income trade. Next we will look into daily income trade supported stocks. Bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. And also bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhancer score 12. And 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 8 stocks. They are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And all the entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. You should focus on the demand zones for bullish trade setup. Out of these 8 15 minutes demand zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter. So we will filter based on the zone confluence, demand zone confluence. First filter is LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. So let's add that filter. In the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 7 stocks. In all the 7 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zones. And 75 minutes trend is uptrend in all these stocks. If any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then the 15 minutes demand zones, because they are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. So these 15 minutes demand zones might be having even more high probability to get success. So let's verify the EMA confluence. EMA confluence at 75 minutes. Selecting 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is up, 75 minutes trend. So we got 2 stocks. So these 2 demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. So that is the reason why this zone is already tested 8 times. Okay. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, I should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence and 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence, we got only one stock. So this 15 minutes demand zone overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together overlapped with daily demand zone and also daily trend is up. So if daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, then this 15 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. So let us verify. In the EMA confluence, at a daily, I'm checking daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, daily trend is uptrend. Let's filter. So we got this stock. So this is having probably more high probability to get success. And also this supply zone is pierced recently. That way this demand zone would have got the zone achievement. Okay. This is a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. And zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. And 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 3 stocks. These 3 are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and all the entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. We have 3 15-minute supply zones. Okay, out of these 3, how many might be having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on zone confluence strategies. So the first filter is LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I enable the filter. Out of 3, we got all 3 stocks. That means in all the 3 stocks, 15-minute supply zones overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is a downtrend in all the stocks. So if any of the 75-minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, then these 15-minute supply zones might be having even more high probability to get success. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I'm checking 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, 75 minutes trend is downtrend. It is bearish trade setup. We got one stock. So this 75 minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. This is based on LTF, ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, I should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Next 15 minutes with daily supply zone confluence and 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got one stock. So in this stock, this 15 minute supply zone overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Both together overlapped with daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down. So if daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then this 15 minute supply zone might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's filter if we can get that stock. EMA confluence at daily, I'm checking daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, daily trend is downtrend. So let's filter. So we didn't get that stock. So it is not having daily EMA confluence. So this is bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will look into hourly income trade supported stocks. Bullish trade setup, hourly income trade, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes. I am selecting 5 bullish, and the zone achievement is VOZ, and minimum order enhancer score is 12. And this 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 12 stocks. All these 12 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zones are these 5 minutes demand zones. So we have total 12 5 minutes demand zones supporting bullish trade setup. Out of these 12, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the ITF demand zone confluence, that is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. So I am going back in the demand zone confluence parameter. I am setting the filter 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, out of 12, we got 10 stocks. In these 10 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. And 15 minutes trend is up in all these stocks because it is bullish trade setup. So let's verify any of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. Because inside the 15 minutes, we have these 5 minute zones are available. So I'm going back in the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame. I'm setting filter 15 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. And 15 minutes trend is up. So let's filter. So we don't have any stocks overlapped. I'm having EMA confluence with 15 minute zones. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. Remove EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, I should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Next 5 minutes with the 75 minutes demand zone confluence. 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I enabled all the 3 filters. With these 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. That means these daily demand zones, 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with, these 5 minutes demand zones, not 15. These 5 minutes demand zones overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in first 3 stocks. If any of these 3 stocks are having daily EMA confluence, 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence, then the 5 minutes demand zones might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's filter. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes, I am setting filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. At the same time, the trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So with these filters, we did not get any stocks. Okay, this is a bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, but entry zone should be supply zone. And also in bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, we have to select bearish. And zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhancer score 12. And also 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 4 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. Out of these 4 5 minute supply zones, how many are having more probability to get success? First, we will filter based on 5 minutes and 15 minute supply zone confluence. That is LTF, ITF. So here 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, out of 4, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 5 minute supply zones overlapped with the 15 minute supply zone. If that 15-minute supply zone having any daily EMA confluence, because the trend is down, ITF trend, 15 minutes trend, then any stocks filter, then 5-minute zones, those 5-minute zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's check whether we get any stocks. 15 minutes supply zone having daily EMA. Anyway, trend is down, 15 minutes trend. No stocks are available. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. That is 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. So first filter is already enabled. Next 5 minutes with 75 minutes supply zone confluence. 15 minutes supply zone with 75 minutes supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 3 stocks, all 3 stocks. So that means these 5-minute supply zones overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. Again, both together overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. But 75 minutes trend is down in only one stock. If this 75-minute supply zone is having daily EMA, then this 5-minute supply zone might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. At the same time, the trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So with these filters, we got the stock. So that means this 5-minute supply zone might be having even more high probability to get success to compare it to the other zones. Because this is the one overlapped with the 15-minute zone, both together again with 75-minute zone. That 75-minute zone is having 75-minute zone with 75 minutes EMA confluence. I mean daily EMA confluence. Because EMA confluence we should not use below daily time frame. They are not effective. Okay, and this is having a trend downtrend. All these are all advantages. But remember, this is only probability game. So with this, we have completed all the income trades. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm giving you only few seconds time while scrolling the list. Any stock you want to refer, pause the video and then proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.